Hey Scorpio, Dark Dove Tarot here. Hope you're doing fantastic. This is your April 2019 reconciliation read. So again, Scorpio, this is your April 2019 reconciliation read. As you know, about 2 months ago, I decided to split the reads up, and it seems to be going pretty well. So I'm going to keep it that way for a little bit. All right, as you know, I pre-shuffle, but I'm going to add a little more energy before I get started. So Scorpio, April 2019 reconciliation read. Any likes, subscribes, comments, etc. are greatly appreciated. If you want a private read, please keep in mind the information is in the description. I say that a few times, or I like to reiterate that, just because, again, it is below. And if I forgot to post it, it will be in another video. And that just saves us both time because I do get emails daily about private reads. All right, so let's see here. General read. Hopefully it resonates with the majority of you. But you always want to check your sun, moon, and rising, as some months those may give you a little more clarity. You might get a little more information regarding your sign, or you and your different signs or collective, if you will. So, all right, one more card. Then we'll pull your theme of the month and we'll get started. So I'm trying to give props where props are due, and I always keep forgetting. The Deviant Moon Tarot deck is the cards I use for, or are the cards I use for the 10 card spread, this one. And then the 8 coin tattoo tarot deck is what I use for the clarifying cards and the theme of the month. So let's get the theme of the month pulled here. 3 shuffles and we'll get moving for Scorpio. Reconciliation 2019. What is going on for Scorpio? I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be completely honest. It has been all over the place. I don't think Virgo is very happy with me reconciliation-wise, but singles seem pretty happy, and oof, it has been, whoa. One more shuffle. That one was kind of crappy. All right. What is the theme of the month for Scorpio? April 2019. All right. Theme of the month. 7 of Pentacles. Choices, choices, choices. Assessing a situation. Figuring out if it's worth the risk, or if it's a risk, or if it would pay off and be a reward. So again, Scorpio, obviously weighing very heavily on your mind, but this seems like a big one. I feel like I keep hearing the big one. Like, if you make a decision not to pursue this, or if you make a decision not to communicate with them, if they're attempting to communicate with you, this will be it. It feels like this is kind of a rock the boat situation. Like, this is you kind of saying, you know, I can't go through this anymore. It's either gonna happen or it's not gonna happen. Whether it's you make the final move, they make the final move, or whether you guys decide like, hey, we are gonna try this again. So I feel like the theme of the month right now is kind of up in the air and saying, you know, do I or don't I? Pros, cons. You're looking at it almost like a business deal to a certain extent, because I feel like it's kind of come down to that. There's no question that you love this person. There's no question that there's a connection there. There's no question that you guys have feelings for each other. The question is this healthy? The question is this livable? Is this something that we can do? Some of you have kids and you're like, God, I really got to think about them because this back and forth is not working for anybody. Some of you have, you know, different situations that you're just kind of like, this is not working. Can we make it work? And if we can, you know, is it going to be healthy for both of us? So it seems like you're at the edge of, you know, do I or don't I? And whichever direction you go, I feel like it's going to be kind of permanent. The next question. The next card you have is your current position coming into the month. You have the 5 Pentacles. All right, so this makes sense. The 5 of Pentacles is kind of feeling like you're not quite sure what's going on. You're not quite sure what you want to do. It's also the card of somebody watching somebody. So either you're watching them on Facebook or social media or whatever, or they are you. Because the 5 of Coins is really paying attention. It's almost like you're waiting for them to make a move. They're waiting for you to make a move, so nobody's making a fucking move. And so that can be a little discontent. That can make things feel a little... because it's the 5 of Pentacles is almost like a lost card or a destitution, more of a poverty, but I don't feel like it's not that in a material sense or anything by any means. This is more of like, you don't know what direction they're going, they don't know what direction you're going, and you're both kind of like, well, I don't want to date if they're not dating, because then that means there's a possibility we could get together. But then if they're dating, you're like, well, fuck it, I want to date. And so it feels very much like there's not a lot of open lines of communication. And if there are, it's very secretive. Maybe they've blocked you on everything, or you've blocked them on everything. So it just feels like Nobody's making a move. There's this big connection here. Either you're going to finalize it and say, we're done, it's not going to happen, let's get closure and we both move on. Or somebody wants to say, hey, I still really love you. But it's like nobody wants to eat that humble piece of pie right now. The next card you have is how you're feeling. All right, so you have the sun. And the sun is like hope, it's inspiration, it's self awareness, it's understanding what part you played in the role of the breakup. Even though some of you are going to be like, oh, I did nothing, they cheated, they whatever. And I get it. But there always takes two to tango, even if your part is less significant or their part was less significant. Two people always come together. Now, the sun is about solutions, it's about clear sightedness, and it's about hope. So the sun is saying, in your mind, you're thinking, I think we could possibly make this happen. I think there's a possibility that we could come together and find a solution. Like, I very much believe that internally there's a place where we belong together, and I do think we could make it work. It's just, how do you get to that point? Because I keep hearing in my head like BS and BS and BS and fighting and arguing and the same cycle over and over, and you're both sick of it and you can't continue that way. So if you guys can't come together and figure out a solution, it's not going to work. And the sun feels very much like you feel like in your head you could make it work, you know what you guys need to do. But again, there's a hesitation, and it feels like there's a hesitation on both parts. The next card you have is your distant past, over the past 5-10 years, could be throughout your childhood. And you have the Three of Swords. So the Three of Swords is pain, despair, it's heartbreak. The Three of Swords is one of the hardest cards to deal with in a love read, because it is about an ultimate breakup, an ultimate despair. And so I think this is coming in from you for you. Again, this is distant past, so this generally doesn't have to do with this person, although it could. Maybe you guys have a long future, or you've been together for a long time, and so this has been 5 or 10 years that this has been going on, and it feels like, again, the cycle of heartbreak, breakup, makeup, and you're just at the point where you're just not sure you can do that anymore. But for a lot of you, this is more like the universe reminding you, if you guys do break up, you'll get through it. It's almost like you need to feel that or hear that. I don't know if some of you are holding on to something because you're worried, like the what ifs, like what if I never meet somebody, or what if I never, and the universe is saying you can deal with this if that's what happens. Now, I don't necessarily know that that's what's going to happen, because I feel that there is a very positive side to this as well. But for whatever reason, the universe is saying, look, Scorpio, if you break up, if it doesn't come to fruition, if you never hear from this person again, if you guys don't get closure, etc., 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 you will be okay. You will be fine. You've been through this before, and I almost feel like it's saying you've been through worse before. And again, that could come into the part where I said this may have been something you guys have done over and over and over, like broken up, gotten back together. So you've dealt with the pain, and the more that you guys break up, the easier it's been to get over and kind of be like, okay, I love you, but like, it is what it is. The more we break up, the more numb I become to the pain and the heartbreak. The next card you have is your immediate past, or the past few weeks, past month or so. This is justice. So is this breakup because of somebody getting caught cheating? Is this breakup because somebody gets caught in a lie? Because justice is just that. It's also Libra's card, so you could be dealing with a Libra, but justice is served. It's about cause and effect. Something happens and something else results from that. Did somebody say, hey, I'm not going to be treated like this anymore, you can't talk to me like that anymore, if you do, we won't talk anymore. It's almost like there was an ultimatum, and not in a like I'm the boss, I'm in charge, but more of a, hey, the secret phone stuff, or the secret email shit, or whatever it is, the sneakiness, or the dishonesty, or lies about money, or whatever it is. Somebody finally said, if this continues to happen, I'm done, I won't put up with it anymore. And guess what? Ooh, well, it happened, and that person put their foot down and said, screw you, not going to happen. Now, justice is also marriage, represents marriage or divorce. So it could be some of you are heading for a divorce, or you've been in limbo thinking about a divorce. But again, there's a really positive note here with this sun, because one of the definitions, the actual definition of that card, is solutions. And so I keep feeling in my head like, okay, even if things have gotten kind of nasty, Scorpio, or you guys are at a standstill and nobody's talking, I don't feel like you're both gutting off in different directions to go meet other people. I feel like you're both kind of assessing the situation, wondering what each other wants, and nobody's really communicating about it. The next card you have is your distant future. So over the next few weeks, next month or two. And that's interesting. You have the Six of Swords. Now, Six of Swords is leaving, it's abandonment, it's retreat, it's leaving a situation. So I don't necessarily feel like you guys will get back together in the next month or two. I feel like some of you may all together just leave the situation. Something you just can't, there's a trust that's broken or something here, even though you see solutions, or maybe they're gone and they're just not, it's not the time of day, they're not talking to you. Now, this could also be travel, so it doesn't have to just be abandonment or retreat. The Six of Swords also represents travel. So maybe some of you are going to travel to get your mind in other places, travel with your kids, do other things. Spring break is coming up, summer is coming up. So there may be different opportunities for traveling. But for a lot of you, I feel like you may be leaving the situation. It's almost like some of you have been hanging on, and this other person keeps doing the same things over and over that are not good or not respectful, and you're finally putting your foot down and saying, no, you thought I was going to stick around, you keep thinking that you can treat me however you want, and here I am again just to be stomped on, and you're like, no, and I'll show you, I'll disappear. It may just be you needing to cut ties completely. Like they say, if you love something, let it go, and if it comes back, it's meant to be. Maybe that type of situation, they need to see that you're serious, that they just can't, it can't continue. The next card you have is over the next few weeks throughout the month of April, and you have the Six of Wands. Six may be something, 6 days, the six, 6 months, etc. So just keep that in mind. But the Six of Wands is very interesting here because this is achievement, it's pride, it's success. So whatever's going on here, I feel like this may be you stepping out on your own, kind of like, I can live without you. Like, and I almost feel like maybe they have tried to communicate with you, and this may be something from a long time ago, hence the heartbreak from before. This may be somebody coming back that you loved once upon a time that you didn't even expect to come back. It may not even be the most recent breakup, because again, there's a lot of decision making going on here, a lot of like, oh, I don't know, we've done this before and it didn't work. But whatever is going on here, you're feeling like you're in a place where if it does work out, great. If it doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world. I really feel like you're in a level playing field where you're like, Scorpio, hey, whatever we've been through sucks, and I truly love you, and we still have a connection, and I wholeheartedly believe that you both feel that way. But the Six of Wands is saying, this may be achieving a situation with this person, or this may be moving into a situation of you guys getting back together, and that's completely what this is. However, I almost feel like it's an achievement of being on your own and actually like getting up and doing the day to day and realizing that you're still living your life and you're still doing what you need to do, because there's something with this six that is saying you need to leave again. So either you guys reconnect and everything feels really good this month, but something happens and it's the cycle repeating itself. I really feel like, though, this is you saying, look, I can do this on my own. Like, I'm capable of doing this on my own. If you want to be a part of my life, great. But right now, I'm doing pretty well by myself. Yeah, see, that makes sense, because the next card you have is the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is it's a dissatisfaction, it's a stagnation, it's a not moving forward. It's feeling anxious about something not moving forward. So for some of you, it's actually like a divorce pending, and now you're waiting for things to finalize. And you're like, I'm not looking back. There's other things ahead for me. But again, for most of you, I think it's more like if they want to be a part of your life and they're going to change, and you guys are going to figure out how to get past this hurt and whatever this justice was. Again, I feel like justice was served, and the behavior finally got cut off, and somebody finally said, no, I'm not dealing with this anymore. You thought I was kidding. You thought you could continue to do this, and you can't. But now you're sitting here going, okay, I want to know. Like, we're not talking, we're not communicating. If you want to move on, let's move on. We'll move on. We'll move away from each other. Like, let's get some closure here. If you want to try and make it work, if you want to find a solution, then great. But like, I need a decision here, because I feel like I'm sitting in slow motion waiting to see what's going on, and I just don't have the time. And I'd rather move on and do other things in my life than sit here wondering what the hell we're doing. The next card you have is anything you're going to feel throughout the month. It could be the beginning, middle, end. You have the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is very generous. It's somebody who feels like, it's almost like if they came back and they said, look, I'm sorry, I've changed, I really think we could do this again, you would be okay with it, because this is a success card. It feels accomplished. But again, I keep hearing this like alone, like you're feeling like the longer they stay away, or the longer they can't get their shit together, the longer you don't have answers, the longer that you're sitting here in this stagnant water, the more and more you're realizing you can do this on your own. The more and more you're realizing you're okay and you'll be fine. Do you love them? Do you wish you guys could make this happen? Absolutely. It feels like you kind of go, I see what we can do to help fix this. I see this, but can we actually go through the motions and make it happen? But whatever this is, I would love to say this is you two coming together and everything being wonderful, but you have this justice that moves into somebody, abandoning a situation right now. And I feel like you're kind of, and it may even be Scorpio that some of you have this person and they're contacting you like, I'm sorry, I miss you, or they're going to in the next month or so. They're going to be like, I miss you, I'm sorry. And you're kind of like, I've been rolling on my own, doing pretty good. Like, what do you bring to the table? Like, give me a good reason why we should make a go at it. The next card you have are your hopes and fears for the outcome of the month. This card has been popping up everywhere. The Two of Pentacles, which is balance, priorities, change. Your biggest thing is right now is getting yourself balanced. Regardless of this other person, you need to make sure your life is in check. Finances, work, kids, fur babies, whatever it is for you, you're like, you know what? I'm finally getting balanced. See, these cards are achievement and success. And again, I feel like this is doing it on your own. And so the Two of Pentacles is saying, keep that balance. If they want to come back into your life, they're going to have to come back in balance. They're going to have to come back without this type of energy, without this type of drama. You just won't do it anymore. You won't deal with the jealousy, the pain, oh, I won't talk to you, but I still love you, and you can feel the connection, and you know that they're thinking about you, but like, you're just kind of over it. You're like, I need to be balanced for me. And then if you want to come back in, we'll see where I've gone and what I've done on my own. And if you can fit in here. The next card you have, yeah, see, this makes sense. Like I said, I don't necessarily know that it's going to be right now. I think there's a possibility you guys could reconcile, but I think it's going to take time. You have Temperance here as your outcome, which is patience, balance, and it's moderation. So I feel like if you are communicating with this person, you're going to be communicating, but very moderately, very in moderation, because I feel like you can't let them take over your life anymore. Like, your whole life revolved, and then you had heartbreak after heartbreak, and now you're like, justice is served. You screwed the pooch, dude. I don't even know what to tell you. Guy or girl, like, you screwed up, and now you're finally getting what you deserve. These two cards are very much intertwined as far as the balance aspect. They're saying, keep yourself balanced. Don't let this breakup ruin you anymore. Don't let it consume you. Every time people break up, there's always a consumption aspect, right? Where we get consumed, and it's hard to think at work. What are they doing? What are they saying? Are they seeing other people? We all do that. And so these two cards are saying, don't do that. Don't let it consume you anymore. You're going in a good direction and good places, even if it's on your own. So see, that's very interesting, because then you have the Page of Cups here for your clarifying for the outcome. And this is saying, this is innocence. This is seeing the world in innocent eyes. Do what you want. Go where you want. Plan your own goals. Plan your own, this is your life. The Page of Cups is a meditation. It's it's an emotional, just feel yourself, feel good, do what makes you happy. It feels like, Scorpio, this is your time and this is your moment to take care of Scorpio. And then if this person wants to come back in, we'll see if you let them. But right now, here's the problem. 9 of Swords. When this person comes back, they make you feel anxious. This is an internal card, but the 9 of Swords is anxiety, it's fear, it's depression, it's fear of the unknown. And I almost feel like you're going to start getting on this cycle where you're doing so well on your own, you're achieving and accomplishing all these good things, that you're almost worried if you got back together with them, is it going to be the same shit? Because then you have this, I pulled an extra clarifying card, and it's the 7 of Swords. This person's on the defense from manipulation, from deception. So Scorpio, you really have to ask yourself, do you really want this person back? Or is this more of a codependency, or more of it was easier to be with this person because you've known them for so long? Because it feels like you're doing really well on your own, and it feels like you'll continue to strive. And it feels like they have some major shit to work on before they should be gracing you with their presence, because it feels like there's some sort of entitlement here, and yet, like I said, justice was served. It caught up to them, and now it feels like if you got back together with them right now, you'd feel like that you've always got these swords on your back to protect yourself from whatever bullshit they bring your way. All right, Scorpio, I hope you have a great month. Bye.